Wake up with the sun in a steaming cup. Tune into the show where the vibes heat up. The Morning Mac got the flavor, got the glow. Start it right, let your energy flow. Hot takes rising like the morning brew. Fresh ideas and a laugh or two. From the first headline to your daily dose. This is the show where your spirit goes. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Sip it slow, feel the rhythm hit your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Dreams alive. The Mac got the groove, keeping you in stride. No snooze, just choose to wake up bold. This is your hour, let your story unfold. New ideas with the sunrise spark. Fuel for your fire when the world feels stark. Spinning the tracks of your mental glow. Every listen's a hit on the Morning Mac Show. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Vibes grow. New ideas with a sunrise spark. Fuel for your fire when the world feels stark. We're spinning the tracks of your mental glow. Every listen's a hit on the Morning Mac Show. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration
Yo, what's good, y'all? This your boy Shout Out, man, aka South Got Jokes. Straight out of Southside, Queens, same neighborhood, 50 no kids at. But look, check this out, y'all. I just came from getting my breakfast, because I'm getting ready to tune into the Morning Mac Show that is live every Monday through Friday. So y'all better tap in, because if you do better, you do better, baby. Play with it, but don't play with it.
Your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Roll out of bed, bring your dreams alive. The Mac got the groove, keeping you in stride. No snooze, just choose to wake up bold. This is your hour, let your story unfold.
Grand rising, everybody. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? The sun is shining. I love these brisk days. Y'all already know how I do, how I feel. Yes, it's a beautiful day. And it's one of those days where you want to sit out on your veranda or your balcony or your terrace, curl up with a nice book like this. Boom. Shades of Blue by A.M. Morning. This is the book you want to get, y'all. Get this book. It's a good one. On a nice brisk day like today. Got a nice hot story going, good action, all that. Yes, Shades of Blue by A.M. Morning. And while we're out there on the veranda with the nice brisk weather, you might want to have your nice hot cup of sea moss tea. I like to put sea moss in my tea, or you can put it in your coffee, your nice daily dose of sea moss, or whatever it is that you like to drink hot. Put that sea moss on in there and do something good for your body, because we all know it got the vitamins and minerals that your body needs, and it help boost your immune system. At this time of year, that's what you really need when it get cold. A lot of people get a little colds and stuffy runny nose and heads and stuff to change the weather, but the sea moss and help your body fight that stuff off. Boop, 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 boop. Sea moss being there like Sugar Ray Leonard at his younger days, But anyway, I digress. Enough of the sea moss and the shades of blue. Today is going to be a Tall Tale Thursday. We have a special guest coming on today, but I want to focus, and I want you guys to keep this in mind. Focusing on our judicial system. Just because we have these laws on the books does not mean certain laws and rules don't need to be changed. These are these old, outdated, antiquated stuff. And we know back in the day why they did what they did, right? So why do they still have certain laws or rules or go about things the same way on the books today? It's time for them to change stuff, update it, and no longer let these practices happen. Like I'm gonna give you for instance. So Reese, what are you talking about? There's a law on the books still today, the lynching law. Now you all know that we're way past the lynching, so why will we still have that law on the books? Why not go in, take that mess off there, and fix that? Why would you still have to have some old, outdated, antiquated, backwoods mind thinking set law still there, big as day? We fight and march for everything. We always fight, but we don't fight to fix what's wrong in our judicial system, especially if we know something is wrong, right? I thought it was always you're innocent until proven guilty. But nowadays, you guilty and you got to sit behind bars till you are proven to be innocent. That's the part that gets me. I had a family member that spent 18 months behind bars because it took them that long for him to have his day in court. And when he did have his day in court, you know what they did? They dismissed it. But you took 18 months of this person's life to dismiss it. Had y'all just do a little bit of legwork, do a little investigation, but the courts and stuff are so backed up. It's so backed up with stuff that you will sit and wait that long, maybe even longer, just to get your day in court. And then for them to say, oh, it's okay, you could go now. Yeah, we got this real story or whatever. But by then, you would have lost your job, you lost the place where you stay to live, ruin your name and all of that stuff. And you didn't do nothing. You just waiting to be heard. People can tell false lies or anybody. And they'll snatch you up before they get to the bottom of the lie. I thought they thought you had to prove some stuff or that they had to do some stuff before, they put you behind bars, right? But I'm looking and looking and learning, and from the experiences, nope. And why do we go for this? Why do we allow this? Why aren't they marching to change that old antiquated stuff? Why are they letting still that kind of stuff go on? Because it costs taxpayers money. It costs taxpayer time. Do you know how 18 months is a long time to house and feed and clothe somebody, and just to let them go? To say, oops. I just don't, understand that. But we have a story today. And I hope you guys get the gist of everything. Just us don't mean justice. Sometimes it means what it says, just us. So, but before I bring my guests out, let's say good morning to my super producers. Let's say good morning to the people that's in the house. Molly Mall.
Wake up with the sun in a steaming cup. Tune into the show where the vibes heat up. The morning Mac got the flavor, got the glow. Started right, let your energy flow.
We got Auntie
Hot
Felicia
takes
in the
rising like
house.
the morning brew. Fresh ideas and a laugh or two. From the first headline to your
got
daily
our
dose.
first guest
This
of the
is the
day.
show where your spirit goes. Oh, it's the morning Mac. Where the time don't.
Good morning, all. Good morning, everybody.
Morning,
Good morning.
morning.
How y'all doing?
What up?
What's up, y'all?
Good
Today,
morning.
today is a good day. We're gonna have a good day.
What's up,
on
Miss
the-
Monique? Good morning.
I'm good. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you.
We're gonna have a good day on the show today. We're gonna get into the unpacking the judicial system, and this is not everybody's story, but sometimes stuff like this happens. And what do we do when it happens? But it happens more so than we think it happens, and nobody know it happens because we're not checking, we're not looking for it until it happens to us. So nobody knows what things need to be changed, because if nobody say nothing, how we supposed to know? It's sort of like see something, say something. But if this is happening to people and nobody is speaking out about it, it goes unheard and it goes overlooked and it goes unchecked. And that's where we don't want it to go unchecked, because it causes a bigger problem like this. Sometimes the guilty get got, and sometimes the innocent suffer too. And with that being said, let me introduce our special guest for today. Miss Monique,
Yes.
you want to tell the Morning Mac show a little bit about yourself, or whatever you would like to share with us before we get into your story?
Yes, I just want to express my story in hopes to maybe shed some light on what's going on with the judicial system, especially in Baltimore City. I feel like this was the only way for me to be able to get my story out.
Okay, because I do understand that you've been submitting in writing and in a request for them to review what's going on, and you trying to plead your and it's like, hey, I'm caught up in this
Absolutely.
system thing, and it's falling on deaf ears. Everybody's passing the buck.
Yeah.
Somebody not doing their job, then they pass it up. Then you go to the next one, then they pass it. They keep telling you, contact this person, contact this person.
Yeah, it's a lot of getting the runaround.
Okay, so let's tell the audience about the story. Explain your situation and why you're getting the runaround, or why
So it's an overwhelming story because this court system and legal system against me. So where we didn't have much.
she's going in and out. Or is it just me?
Can
No, it's not just you. It's
Can y'all
kinda
hear me?
going in and out a little bit. There it is.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, to make sure it was buffering. So yeah, this has been an ongoing thing for the last 3 years. I want to start with saying that me and my child's father, I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name, but
No, don't say his name.
okay, yeah, me and my child's father, we didn't have much of a relationship. We kind of had a fling. I found out I was pregnant. I told him. He probably didn't want no parts or believe that he was the father, so he had blocked me. You fast forward to that, throughout the months that I was pregnant, I would get random messages from him, just from different accounts. And when I finally gave birth, December 4th of 2021, I tried to reach out again through a mutual friend and let him know, our child is here. I don't want nothing from you. Just want you to know she's here. She's healthy. She looks exactly like you. If you want to get a DNA test, you want to go from there, that's fine. Just know I'm not trying to keep you away from seeing your child. He had responded back to this woman that reached out in my favor and was like, she's absolutely crazy. She's a stalker, psychotic, all these different things. So he could have just ignored the message. He could have just said, I don't know what you're talking about. But instead, he went out and fabricated this story. After that, the next day, I received a bunch of threats from different accounts. I didn't know what my rights were. I didn't know that I could have taken that and probably received some type of protection. I thought that because it was from different accounts that it wasn't enough evidence. It could be anybody, but who else would it be? So we fast forward from that. And, I spoke with other family members, his sister, and she tried to mediate things between us. We did have a conversation. We did try to talk things out. It didn't go nowhere. I'm asking him about the threats, what was going on. And he's like, it was never me. He tried to put it on his ex-girlfriend. So I guess in his mind, he was expecting me to be like, oh, okay, no problem. Here's our newborn daughter and, just bring her back to me on this day. And yeah, without really understanding what the cause for the hostility was or why he would even react that way. So after that conversation, he went ghost. I didn't hear from him for like months. The first time he abused the legal system was 5 months later. My daughter was 5 months old. I get a call from another family member saying that their police are at their house looking for me, that they were there to serve me, and that their papers stated that it was an emergency custody order for me to hand my daughter over to, him, the child's father. This is before there's a DNA test. This is before he's not on the birth certificate. He has no relief to even have her. So how did he go and obtain this emergency grant? I'm running around Baltimore City like a chicken with their head cut off, trying to figure out what I can do, what documentation, what kind of legal representation I can get. And, I'm getting all this paperwork and I get back home to my house. I'm not even there for maybe 5 or 10 minutes and the police are already knocking at my door and he's right behind them. And they're like, it's a court order for you to hand your daughter over. And I'm trying to explain to them, like, this can't be right. You have to recall this or look at it. And they're like, no, it's court ordered from the judge for you to hand your daughter over. I'm like, well, she's not here anyway. She's at her godmother's house. And had she been here, I'll still not hand her up. So they, at that point, put out a warrant for my arrest. They put a warrant out for my arrest. In the cop car by the end of the night. And I mean, they got me in the handcuffs and the shackles. And they take me to the little, I guess, holding cell of the precinct where I get interviewed by 2 detectives. I'll never forget this. They said to me, if I didn't comply with telling them where my daughter was, that I would go up on the news station as a murder suspect and my daughter a victim. This is before I even knew the statement of the charges. So I have no idea what she was talking about or why they would even mention that. I'm like, what do you mean? They like anybody that's helping you would be considered a fugitive and all that. So of course I fold, I don't want anyone to get caught up for what I guess I have going on, and they take me to the booking precinct and they went and got my daughter and turned her over to the father. After just telling me like, we just need to see that she's alive. I'm like, of course she's alive. She's alive and safe. So when I get down to the booking precinct, I finally get the statement of charges. And these charges are saying that I had been stalking my child's father. I was abusing our daughter. I said something about putting her in the oven. Mind you, we had no contact for months. For the last 5 months of her life, we had no contact. He hadn't been around her. He hasn't even held her. He's never been in her life. And now I'm sitting here in the bookings waiting to see the commissioner and hoping that I can get out my own recon off of these charges, off of this statement. I explain everything that's going on when I finally get to talk to the commissioner, the lawyer, and they let me go on my own recon. But at this point, I had to wait a whole week for the next hearing. So I missed my first Mother's Day with my daughter. I'm still running around Baltimore trying to get some type of legal representation. And I met with this woman, I believe her name was Alicia from House of Ruth. And she was like, I will represent you. This is so far out what I'm used to or what I can even do. But your situation is so messed up. So she represents me. We have that court hearing. He comes in there with my child strapped to the chest and, he hands her over to the sister and, all his family's there, my family's with me. And, I can't even say anything as a defendant. The lawyer, she has to speak for me. And so she's like, Judge, Your Honor, this guy doesn't even have a birth certificate. He's not on it. There's no DNA test. We don't even know if he's actually the father. The judge looks at him and she's like, you're not on the birth certificate. There's no DNA test. And he says, no, because when I look at her, all I see is myself. And she's over here apologizing to this man and I'm the victim, So at that point, I realized that, he's got to be crazy. He's got to be on something. I get my daughter back because he has to hand her to me. And at that point, I did not hear nothing from him for the next 2 years. He had flew to Florida and just was gone. I think he had hit me up twice on like Instagram, and that didn't go nowhere. He was like, "What are you gonna tell her when she gets older?" and all this stuff. And I'm like, "I'm gonna tell her the truth." So that didn't go nowhere. I didn't hear from him for 2 years. His family had reached out to me. His mom was like, "Please forgive us for his actions." So 2 years passed. That court ordered DNA finally comes back July 11th of 2024. I tried to give it another shot. I try to let bygones be bygones. I let, the father side of the family come back in the picture. So that worked out for a little bit of time. Like I said, that had to be around sometime pushing towards the end of July that I left them come back around. We worked things out. I was allowing Naya to spend the weekends, over her grandmother's house on the father's side. And then that didn't last too long. He got into some issues with his family. The sister that helped mediate things between us, they had gotten to an altercation, a physical altercation. I knew that would put strain on him trying to see his daughter at his mom's house because his sister was residing with the mom. So I'm like, maybe you should talk to your sister. Maybe y'all should talk that out because, this is going to cause an inconvenience. And for whatever reason, that triggered him. And so he cussed me out and hung the phone up on me. When he came back in the picture, we had talked and conversed about trying to do things in a family unit. He wanted to be in the same household and raise our daughter under the same household. Okay, fine. I agreed with it. I asked him if this meant that he wanted something, with me as a family. He was like, absolutely not. I said, okay, no problem. After I seen the hostility and how he was moving with his sister and how he, attacked me for just have a conversation with her, I was like, you know what? Child's father, I think it's best if we don't be under the same roof. I think that we would clash. I think it's best if we do raise her under separate roofs and you have her the days you have her, I have her the days I have her, work something out. And he said, you know what? This is your last strike. This is your third strike, actually, and it's your last strike. I'm going to file for custody and I'm going to take our daughter. And I was like, what do you mean my last strike? After everything that you've done, what do you mean my last strike? I've done nothing to you. He's like, good luck on doing things by yourself. Have fun trying to figure things out and get on your feet. I'm like, I've been doing things by myself, so that's not a problem for me. We fast forward, and by August 30th, he went and filed for full sole physical custody. He wanted me to pay for the medical expenses. He wanted me to pay child support. Mind you, our daughter's 2 years old now. He has never been around. How do you want me to pay for the expenses and child support? And you just coming back around. I, by the grace of God, responded the same day that he went and filed for custody. I seen him walking out the commissioner's office as I walked in. And he acted like he didn't see me. So I got to respond to everything that he said. And they set up a court date all the way till May. We had like some pre-hearing that was in November, but the court date wouldn't be till May. So ultimately, I believe in his mind, he felt as though how I'm not going to be able to see my daughter for that long. I tried to arrange something where as though his family, his father's side of the family, could still see her despite what was going on with me. I just wanted to be sure that he wasn't going to do anything to snatch up our daughter out of spite. If y'all supervise it when he's around, that's fine. Don't put my daughter in any situation where he's going to jeopardize taking her from me or anything like that. That's going to harm her. They're like, okay, we understand. Matter of fact, we don't even want him around because he's unhinged. Okay, cool. That obviously didn't stick. His mother folded. She started allowing him around. I found out through the older sister. I go and confront her about that. Me and her end up having a situation. And so that was in November. At November about November 16th, that's when she stopped going around them altogether. It wasn't working out with the mom. It wasn't working out with the father. So in the meantime, it's been him constantly vandalizing my mother's car. He's set that on fire. He has a habit of doing things around holidays or on birthdays. He set my mom's car on fire. He threw bricks through my friend's patio. He sends threats. He's even vandalized his own sister's place, all while still going to the commissioner's office and trying to file and press charges. So the most latest thing that I can tell y'all that happened is craziest. After I had the court date with his mother and that got dismissed, on top of that, they tried to submit in a letter that was fabricated by my mom, meaning somebody sent in a letter for that court date, that trial, with this whole fabricated story about me, signed as my mom. So my mom had to speak on my behalf. She had to talk to my lawyer and say that was never me. They end up dismissing that case. The same day, April 1st, that case between me and his mom was dismissed, new charges were brought up against me I didn't even know about. So these new charges landed an arrest warrant for me on April 4th, where they came and took me out of my mother's house. You know, I was sleeping right there next with my daughter, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, I get a boom, 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 boom knock on the door. I'm like, oh, okay. My mom thinks that the police are there because to serve her for some divorce papers. They're there for me. So they're like, yeah, we got a warrant for your arrest, Monique. I'm like, oh, no. Check the system. I just had a court case that was closed. It just hasn't updated yet. They're like, no, you have an active warrant for Baltimore City. Oh, okay. They took me in. I get down there. I'm able to look at the charges, you know, sitting there in handcuffs and stuff. And I see that it says that my actual brother came and pressed charges on me. The statement of the charges went as I walked around the corner to his house from my mom's house, knocked on his door, had my hands in my pocket. He opens the door. I confront him about my daughter, then pull out a taser, tased him, punched him in the face, beat up my older brother, turn around, beat up his fiance, and then took a metal object and hit his son in the face. My brother doesn't have a son. He has 2 daughters, and he doesn't even live around the corner from my mom. So the whole story was fabricated. How did this happen? So I see the commissioner, right? I go up and try to get out on my own recon. And I'm desperately trying to tell the lawyer everything she can to go back to tell the commissioner, because I know that this is not from my brother. Me and my brother have a great relationship. I watch his kids all the time. We had plans for Easter. And I'm sitting up in jail on April 4th. I see the commissioner. The charges were so serious that I didn't even get bail. I wasn't supposed to. They sent me straight upstairs. At that point, the reality started to hit me. You know, they take everything from me. I'm in like this pink jumpsuit. I sit there. I have to see the nurse. She tells me I have to get a tuberculosis shot. I don't even like needles. I don't like getting shots, but I had no choice. At that moment, I realized, oh, this is way out of my control. Like, there's nothing I can do. I'm really here, you know? So I spent maybe almost a week in jail before I had bail review. And you know, my brother showed up, my mom showed up, and the sister from the father's side showed up on my behalf. And, you know, the judge was like, well, if you're her brother, then what's going on? Like, what are you doing here? And why these charges? And he's like, that's not me. I didn't write that. And she's like, well, do you got an ID? Let me see your ID. And she looks at his ID. She looked at the signature of the charges. She said, well, I'm no handwriting expert, but you can see that these signatures don't match. So they let me go. But I still had this pre-probation for a month before my court date, where again, my brother shows up. Public defender talks to me for a couple minutes. They're like, okay, yeah, you know, it's probably going to get dismissed and thrown out. And I'm hoping that maybe I get a chance to express my story. No, my brother shows up. He says it's not them. And they're just like, okay, not prosecuted, dismiss, throw it out. Like it's nothing. I understand that they get cases like this all the time where people probably press charges on a loved one or something, and maybe they go back and feel bad and want to drop the charges. So maybe they didn't take it seriously. The fact that my brother was actually here and saying that, you know, he didn't do it. They didn't even want him to testify. They just threw it out. So, yeah, I tried to seek legal representation after that. Right after that, you know, I'm making calls back to back to back. Women's Law Center, pro bono, legal aid, House of Ruth, everywhere I can think of, Bars Association law program. And they're all like, we cannot take your case. Wait, for one, don't take criminal cases. So that already knocked out half the people that could possibly take my case. And then for one, they told me you would have to have been found not guilty. In the case, it says not prosecuted, which would make it hard for you to turn around and get any type of legal representation to, you know, be able to fight back. So with that all being said, what do I do to protect myself from this happening again, right? I don't know. I don't know. But it did happen again. You know, as of June 15th, now somebody has went down there under the name of James Carter, or whoever James Carter is, and pressed these falsified charges on me again. And this time, you know, every time that he does it, he just ups the charges. He ups the statement of charges to make it make worse. He's trying to get a misdemeanor. He'll try to get a felony. He's adding the fact that, oh, she had a handgun, you know. I'm nowhere near him or anywhere in any area. I'm the only person taking care of my daughter, and my daughter has special needs. So she's completely reliable on me. You know, she completely depends on me. I don't have time to be, you know, I'm not even mobile. So how would I be getting around the city like that? You think I'm catching a bus to go fulfill some act of violence and then catch the bus back home? Like, no, it doesn't even make sense. So yeah, that's pretty much the story. You know, on top of that, he's doing this, I think, in the hopes of, you know, taking any credibility away from me so that he can also sustain some type of custody. And so these charges will be dropped, and then he'll go and file for emergency custody, at which this time it's been granted because the allegations of these charges are so serious. I've never had a criminal background until he came in the picture. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to do, but I'm hoping that having this, you know, this conversation and sharing my story will shed some type of light, because I know I'm not the only one that served time for something they didn't do or fabricated charges, you know, but something has to be done as far as the judicial system and it being weaponized against people. You don't have to show an ID when you go into the commissioner's office. If I wanted to go in there right now and say, I'm Jane Doe and John Doe beat me up, it's just my word against theirs. They're not going to ask me for ID. I could go in there and say, my name is Alicia Keys right now, and say, whoever I want to on this panel, if I got your government name, oh yeah, such and such beat me up and he pulled out a handgun and pistol with me. I don't even have to have the mark. I could show a picture of a random person and go, yeah, that's my child. He beat him up. And they'll just put the warrant out. And then you'll sit there in jail, you know, if you don't get on your own recon, and you'll sit there in jail for however long until that court date. And then you go to your court date and the person doesn't show up, they dismiss it, and then boom, you're just free. It's not even like they say, oh, okay, well, this person didn't even show up and we need to find some way to repercuss this person for everything that they've been through. No, there's nothing. You just go on about your life. Like, what happened? You know, why did this happen to me? What do I do now? So yeah, that's the story. That's my story.
That's your story. So
Mhm.
the way it's set up, if I'm hearing everything correctly, that you could go to the commissioner's office. Is that the same as the police filing a police report?
Not exactly. So a lot of times when you're in an incident that involves an emergency, people call the police. And instances where you don't call the police, you can go straight to the commissioner. And that's what he has done. So he doesn't call the police because then that would lead some type of body cam footage or, you know, something like that. He goes straight to the commissioner office and press those charges. And I would have to reiterate the fact that this is highly happening in Baltimore City. Baltimore County and other places in Maryland don't really play that. You know, in the county, he couldn't have pulled this off. But in the city, he can pull this off as much as he wants. They do not ID you.
To file a complaint. Okay.
Mhm.
So does he have any type of, you said that he wants to take his daughter. Does he have any type of relationship with his daughter? I know you said she's special needs. Does she know him? Does she have any type of relationship with him? Or she's like a stranger?
Like a stranger. He has not been around long enough or consistent enough for her to even begin to pick up on the fact that that's her father. You know, he's so hostile and how he moves. There's no peace within him. I think that she's afraid of him. I think the time that he was around her, she wasn't even allowed to process that that's her father or get close to him. It just wasn't enough time. You know, he was around from July and then to August 30th, and then probably seeing her sneaking and seeing her on the weekends up until November. I don't know how they got to really interact because that was kept hidden from me. But she doesn't call out for him. She doesn't say daddy or anything like that. If she so try to recognize her, you try to get her to recognize a picture of him, she's not like, oh, that's my daddy or anything. She just Who's that? Yeah.
Okay. Um, are you trying to keep this man's child away from him?
Not at all. Not at all. You can see with the paper trail that that's not even what's going on. You know, he went and filed for custody. He's the one who keeps filing. He could have filed for joint custody, but he filed for sole physical custody, meaning he wants our daughter to, you know, reside with him. He wanted me, he put on a paper for me to pay for medical expenses, child support. And if he had felt like that, I was unstable or unfit at any time, why did he wait till August to, you know, attempt to get custody? Why not do that July when you got the DNA test? Why not? You know, he spent time around me. We didn't have no issues. He spent more time around me than he did with his daughter. So I have a feeling that this stems from a place of spite and because maybe he feels rejected as well. I don't know. But mhm.
Hmm. Does anybody, Trey or Molly, do y'all have any questions?
Nah, I'm listening. I just don't, understand how any of that was possible, but she said it's possible. It's like I never been in a commission building without showing my ID. They don't allow you in it. Where we from, you can't come nowhere near. They got too many checkpoints. You need to keep showing your ID. It's like, so I don't know. I had people falsely accuse me of things, but I never went to jail for it. I had girls that lied and called the police, said I beat them and all this shit. The police come and they don't lock me up. It's just she tried to make some shit up. She had some proof. So she's saying that shit, they came for a child. He didn't even have his name on the birth certificate. My daughter can't do nothing without my say because my name on the birth certificate. So I just never seen anybody get that much power without any power. Like
Mhm.
he ain't got his name on no birth certificate, but he got the cops to come knock on her door to get custody of a child that's not his. Even if the
Mhm.
child look like his. It's people out here that's legally somebody's kid, but not their father for real. You know what I mean? Like not by blood, but he was there to sign the birth certificate. So that's their child. So you got a lot of fathers out here that's paying child support on a kid that's legally theirs,
Not even.
but not by blood. But due to the fact they signed the birth certificate, they got to take care of this child. So for a dude that don't sign a birth certificate or do anything, it's like he can't do nothing with this child, any child. So I don't know how he was able to do that. He knows some tricks. I don't know what the hell he knows some people. So I
Mhm.
don't know. And they out Baltimore. It's just shaky out there. Baltimore, you can find some dirty cops, commissioners, officials, all that. You got a little money, you can get them to do all types of shit. But I don't know. I never heard of this. So this new for me. So I'm just amazed. I don't know what can you do if he got that much power. If he can do the things he doing, I don't know what can you do. You can call around and try to ask for help. But I don't know how much they can help you because the people you calling to help, they helping him. So it's like
Mhm.
you can call and say he did this to my mom's car, he did this and this, but he don't get in trouble. Now you
Mhm.
don't do nothing at all, but he can call from John Doe and say she did this and she did that, and they come arrest you. It's like that don't make sense to me, but it's like it is what it is. Sometimes that's just how shit fall for some people. Just like don't matter what you do, bad shit constantly happens. It seems like you just gotta, just get through this wave, get through this storm. And once it's over, you'll be better. But right now, you're just going through it. So whatever steps it take, go to court. If you got to deal with this dude, try to deal with him. But yeah, I'm with you. Don't let him just take your child. He can probably get joint custody, but to try to take full custody, that's just disrespect, especially a girl. She should definitely be around her mom. It ain't even like he had a boy, but joint custody, I think both parents should be around. It seemed like you try to work things out. You told him, oh, you can come live with me. And, you said you was okay with him living with you and y'all was okay. But you asked him, did you, want a relationship? He said no. From there on out, it seemed like things went south. You said, I can't have you under the same roof now. So it went from y'all can be under the same roof. You don't mind being a family, but he don't want that. And due to the fact he don't want that, it seemed like you ain't want him and you under the same roof because it wasn't going to work. which is okay. We all don't end up with the person we had a kid with, but it's all about the kid. And it seemed like he acting out of anger. You know, if things don't go his way, he'll do anything to hurt you. And that's fucked up. He got a lot of growing to do, because the only thing matters is this kid. You know, she need to have her mother and her father, and both of y'all need to not worry about going to jail and stuff, because at the end of the day, both of y'all can lose custody. And then what?
Right.
You know, so it's like he trying to hurt you and he trying to find ways to hurt you, but if they somehow take that kid and he can't get custody because he got into something, who the child go with? So hopefully you can work it out, and whatever people watching, if y'all know anybody she can reach out to or get help from, please let us know, because this dude, I don't know who the fuck he got over there with him. He doing shit that's illegal. I don't know how he can do this. I never heard of it. Be
But
careful,
it's
man.
keep telling stories, and he know that if he's smart enough not to file the police report, because at the police station you got to show ID. So he goes to the commissioner office where they don't require that to show ID. They don't require you.
Yeah, now where they go to, the ones down here, they required
Yeah,
at the commission
that
office. So I
they
don't know what
but
commission office they at.
Baltimore
So
Shoutout
City.
has a question.
yeah, they gangsters though. Get you
Shoutout has
from
a
out of
question. He
Baltimore.
said that was my question. Did y'all ever do the DNA to see if it was his, or do you know respectfully, of course?
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
her
the
say
DNA
it.
test happened on July 11th of 2024. It was a court-ordered DNA test, so we both had to abide by it, and it came back his. You know, that's how he and me got back in contact, because after that, he reached out. His family reached out. He didn't even have the courage to reach out to me after what he did the first time. So his mom and his sister reached out to me.
Right.
Damn, that's
And the
tough.
first incident was when he did take the baby. The baby was like 5 months, correct?
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
only and how you got it back is because his name wasn't on the birth certificate or nothing or none of that. He didn't even know if he was the father. And that's when the
Yeah.
judge say, "Give her back her baby. You don't even know if you the dad." And that's when they put the
Yeah,
DNA court order out. Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
get that girl back her baby. That ain't your baby. You know,
He
like
don't even
what
know.
is he doing,
You know.
man? But my brother was, he was in a situation like that. One of my older brothers with my nephew, he was raising my nephew damn near all his life. His mother left when he was like
Mm.
1 or 2, but we don't know where she went. You know, like we just knew she
Mhm.
was okay because we'd see her post from time to time, but she just left. You know, she left him with us. My brother raised him. He got like 10 years old. She popped up and she had another kid, and she wanted him to meet his brother, you know, and he was
Mhm.
excited to have a little brother, you know, because he was always the youngest. So my brother was okay with it. He was happy that he get to see his mother. Then after months passed, the little brother asked, "Can he spend the night?" So my brother like, "Yeah, you go spend the night with your brother," you know, da da da. So when it was time to come back home, you couldn't find her. She just disappeared, moved, was ducking them. We finally got in touch with her. My brother had to get a court issue. You know that they looked for her the whole time. She was sending him to court, and she was trying to
Mm.
get full custody of him and all this stuff, you know. And my brother had to show proof that he been raising my nephew, and that the whole time my nephew never called her mom. He called her by name. And then the judge
Wow.
asked my nephew straight up, like, "Who is this lady?" He's like, "I just met her." You know, and he asked about his father. He told him everything about his father, you know, everything about him. They gave my brother custody, you know, and from
Mhm.
time to time, he still let him see his mother. My nephew grown now, but it was just crazy that people do shit like that. You know, it's like, why
Yeah.
would you do that?
Mm.
You know, like
And he's
nobody
trying to
said,
take advantage because he knows that my daughter is like, at the time, she's pretty much nonverbal. She says a few words, but she would never be able to speak up and say, oh, you know, I miss my mom or I want to go home or anything like that. It's just crazy to me that he would even try to do something like that, or how would that affect her? It's just like it doesn't matter to him. You know, he keeps painting a picture that we were in this relationship, I guess probably like under the same roof or household, and he didn't want to be with me anymore. And then I just went psycho crazy. And that's never what happened at all. You know, I spent the pregnancy by myself. I've been doing it by myself. I didn't care about having anything with him. It was just about how we could move forward raising our child. That's what it always had been about. So I don't know. It's crazy. It's an insane situation.
yeah, it is.
Now, I know that you guys been writing letters and trying to petition to get some help to at least get them at the commissioner office to review the videotape so they can see that this is the same guy pretending to be different people.
Mhm.
Now, up here, if you waste the police time and the court's time, you're gonna do some time because they don't play that up here. Out in Baltimore City, I don't know what y'all do down there, but I know that isn't that perjury, y'all?
Mhm.
Yeah,
When you file
yeah.
false police reports,
Go to jail.
you get in trouble.
Even if you
They
don't tell them certain shit, and they know you know it, they can find a way to arrest you. Like you
right.
intervene with the investigation. You know, it's all types of shit. But Buddy knows somebody, man. I don't know. He knows somebody that at
Somebody
least
That's
know the
telling
true.
them
law,
Mhm.
or they know
something.
the loops and to get around certain things. Cause the things he doing is just unheard of. So he knows somebody. He
Now,
probably false paperwork or some fake ID. Probably used the ID, but he probably had a fake one. His people, you get $30, you can buy a fake ID. You can buy a lot of fake everything these days, documents. So I could see him doing that before just not having it.
now, how is it that they never locked him up for the vandalism that he caused um, your folks? Why they never? Why didn't y'all
Well,
go to the commissioner like he did instead of filing a police report?
I'm not exactly sure. My mom did call the police when her car got vandalized, but I guess without any actual footage, or when you basing it off of like, oh, I think it was my child's father or it had to be him, you just kind of basing it off assumption. So even if that's the case, I don't think that they would have been able to just go and arrest him or put out a warrant. I think they would have had to like
Right.
summon him. I don't know how that went. I don't know if my mom didn't want to just go forward with pressing charges. She thought it would be a waste of time because he'd be like, that wasn't me, or I wasn't even there. There was no camera out back to catch it. So I don't think she went through with it because she didn't feel that it would do anything. And when you're working as hard as you're working, you don't want to keep going in and out of court, especially for something that you don't know if it's going to be worth your time or not. I also have another friend that he was throwing bricks to his patio. He was throwing bricks to his patio like every week, or maybe every other day, just at one point, he threw a brick through the patio with my name on it, and it said Monique. So my friend calls me, and the girl that he had staying at his house, I guess it was his girlfriend, she cussed me out something serious. She's like, "You over here throwing bricks through the window, and I know it's you with your name on it. You know my kid's in here, da 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 da." And I said, "Ma'am, if it's me, why would I write my name on it and incriminate myself?" And they stopped and was like, "She's right. Well, who do you think it is?" Well, I'm pretty sure it's my child's father. So if it happens again, give the statement, that it's him, his name. And they're like, okay, okay. And I'm pretty sure it happened again, or he got tired of throwing bricks because the rental office kept fixing the patio, and he called this rental office and was like, "If y'all don't evict this guy, I'm gonna kill everybody in this apartment complex. I'm gonna blow it up." He said something like that, and they
Now,
went and they locked him up.
wait a minute, let me stop you. How do you know he did that?
Police reached out to me because they had to open up an investigation.
And he tried to say it was you again.
No, he didn't try to say it was me. I guess they got word out that I don't know if my friend gave my name or whatever the case may be, but when they do an investigation, they figure this stuff out. They called me, talked with me, and I thought they were gonna come to my residence and talk with me even more. They told me that he got locked up, and they never came to talk to me. He got out the next day on his own recon, I guess. I don't know how he did.
Interesting, because they're investigating his accusations, but won't investigate your accusations.
Yeah. And I also have an officer. I will keep his name. I don't want to share his name. I don't know if I don't want to get him in trouble. But I had an officer reach out to me, and that's why I said when they investigate stuff, they'll find out where you are, the information they need to try to get a hold of you, because I don't give my number out. So he must have gotten it off of some kind of case search or something like that. And this officer reached out to me and he said, You know, I wanted to reach out to you because your child father has came in here making claims on you and your daughter and suggested I put out a missing persons report. And I was like, I'm not missing. We're not missing. We're okay. And he said, yeah, I figured that. He was like, this just based off of his how he was coming in there, how hostile he was and aggressive. He was like, he just felt like something wasn't right. So he decided to reach out to me first. His supervisor recommended it that he reach out to me other than just dismissing, you know, my child's father claims. So he recommended that I get a protection order and everything. Because after I sent him documentation to show for the last 3 years that this guy has been bothering me, he was like, oh yeah, you need to get protection. And I can let other officers know, you know, what he's been doing and maybe write notes for the case or put in a system. So he won't go back to Baltimore County. On top of that, I have subpoena footage. Well, I didn't subpoena. Is that the word, subpoena? I don't know, but you can get body cam footage. And I got that camera footage from when he went in there that day and was like, oh yeah, she's crazy and she's suicidal. My daughter's not safe and she's in hiding and this, that, and the third. I have video camera footage of him going in and saying that because I was able to subpoena it. I'm just finding out certain things that I can do to try to help myself. Like I didn't know you could subpoena body cam footage. If I'd known that, I could have tried to subpoena the footage when he tried to pretend to be my brother and boom, case closed. But they throw it out after 30 days, apparently. So yeah.
No, you're saying Baltimore County and Baltimore City. They're two separate entities.
Absolutely. Two different jurisdictions. Baltimore County don't play that. Baltimore City, you can get away with anything.
So the cop that called you looking out for you is from Baltimore County. They told you get the protection order. That's Baltimore County. So he's well known in the county. So if he tries something in the county, they know that he's up to shenanigans. So he goes to the city.
I tried to, I think at one point get a protection, or I tried to get a protection order on him at one point when he sent a threat or something like, he just randomly will send threats sometimes from false pages, or sometimes it'll be from his own page. And I wanted to go to Baltimore County and file for that. And they were like, you can't do that here because you're in a city, you're from the city, or you live in a city, not from the city, but if you live in a city, you have to file in a city. But when I went into the county to try to file that, I had to show my ID. I didn't have to do that in a city.
Okay, so the city is where they lacking, where they need. I guess they're overworked in the city, and there's so many people in the city that's in the system that that's how stuff falls through the cracks and everything. And unfortunately, how stuff like this can happen, or you can go into the city with no ID and do whatever, because they overwork. There's so many people in there, and they're like, they'll be back, because you don't care if you don't squeak or squawk. We don't know what's going on. We would have never known that you did not. You could go. I never knew that you could go in Baltimore City. That is, you can go to the commissioner's office and they don't check your IDs. Maybe it's something that they should put in place where they have, just like other jurisdictions, they ask you for your ID especially when you're making a complaint or somebody. Maybe they need to put that into place, and maybe that will cut down on a caseload immensely. Because the way you saying anybody could take revenge or retribution. I don't like you, I'm gonna make a false case against you. The next thing you know, you're getting a warrant out on you. How do you know that you got a warrant out for your arrest?
There should be some type of ID has to be shown, some kind of evidence. Like if the claims are that serious, there's allegations like, why was CPS not called? Why is there no medical report? Why is there no actual police report? Why would anybody in their right mind, after they're supposedly getting attacked and their child gets hit with a metal object, why would you be straight at the commissioner's office? Why would you not call the police first? So just off of that, I understand. I don't understand how they don't question that. I don't understand how they don't even ask questions like, where's the report? Where's a picture? Where's something? I have to prove my innocence. I have to prove that I don't know who this person is, that I wasn't in the area, what I did that day. I have to do all that after going to jail, after turning myself in. But this person, this James Carter person, doesn't even have to submitting any kind of evidence, they won't have to do anything until the court date. And I'll be sitting there in shackles in my pink jumpsuit, and this James Carter person won't even be there. And I remember talking to the woman when I was telling her that I couldn't even get a public defender because there's no court date. I remember telling her that, and she was just like, well, you should just turn yourself in. And I said, well, if I turn myself in and then I sit and I have the court date and this James Carter person doesn't even show up, she was like, well, then they'll just let you go. And I was like, so y'all wouldn't summon the James Carter person to court? Y'all wouldn't investigate that? Like, y'all just going to dismiss it and let it go after I sat and waited for what? So it's just, I don't know, unheard of. It's just nothing like I've ever been through anything like this before.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry that you're going through it now, but at least we know now, you know that where the problem is lying, and solicit to have those, the way they do business change. Solicit to start a petition once you get everything settled that they need to show ID or to have some type of follow through before they just convict you and put you behind bars like that. And then they wouldn't even let your family members speak on your behalf. The one that they was accusing I'm talking about when you said that your brother had to go up to court and they wouldn't even let him speak. They were just like, okay, dismiss, and boom, and you was gone. You was let go like that.
Yep. They didn't even say, hey, wait a minute here. What's going on? Like they didn't question nothing. They just, not prosecuted. And that's why I said, I don't know if it's just because they're backed up. I don't know if they knew they made a mistake on their end and they were like, okay, let's just put this as not prosecuted and this is not guilty. So she can't fight her way back, so we don't have any repercussions. So, I think sometimes it's a part of that as well. I think they try to cover their own tracks for where they mess up. And I think with people in this situation, they're not expecting them to get private attorneys and open up a civil case or anything like that. They just have it dismissed. But I don't know if it's just due to the fact that they know they messed up or if it's because they're just so backed up with all the cases they get and similar stuff. You got to think about how many times women go and press charges on their abusive boyfriend and then don't show up to court. Or show up and talk to the lawyer and say, well, I want to drop the charges. So I don't know if they just thought like, oh, that's her brother and he probably don't want to go forward with it anymore. But they didn't even ask. They didn't even try to find out. They just dismissed it.
And they do that to men a lot. Men get locked up for something they didn't even do because, like you said, their abusive wife or their scorned girlfriend or whatever pressed up fake charges and the guys get locked up. What you got is a catch-22. Instead of you being the man getting locked up for fake charges, the man locking the woman up with Trump charges. That happens to men all day, every day. They get locked up because the girlfriend and went up there and lied and everything. But down here, the girlfriend shows ID and she stands on her lie. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at the situation.
Gotta have a little bit of humor.
Hey,
and girls, the funniest man in the world, funny man, David Green.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, bro?
Oh, nothing much. I didn't think I was gonna get the music played after that story and everything.
Yeah, I seen you for a minute, man. I seen you in the back. I gotta be careful though. I ain't moving to Baltimore. I don't advise nobody move to Baltimore City at all. The county, man, stay far away from it. But that's why they protect a lot of witnesses out here, because if they don't show up to court, they gotta throw it out. So it's like, even if somebody charged me with something I know I ain't do and they use the false name, I'm not tripping. I'm not even going to court, because who the fuck won't show up? Like, I know it ain't the person because I ain't do nothing. That person don't exist. And then if I know it's my brother, he right here with me. I know he ain't dead because we in here playing 2K or something. Just like I wouldn't trip, but I don't know what he's doing. I'm trying
out for your arrest.
Yeah, but the only thing with that is, like you said, they'll put a warrant out for your arrest, and then
Yeah.
You start to trip because then you're sitting in prison or you're sitting in jail for something you didn't do. You're sitting around other inmates. You don't
Yeah.
realize until you're
Yeah,
in
if
a
that's if the
situation,
other person
know.
shows up. If the other
Mhm.
person shows up, then yeah, you going to jail. But if both of y'all don't show up, they still gonna put a bench warrant out. So
No,
you
one of
already.
you is in jail, so one of you is going to show up. She's sitting in
Oh, you
jail
saying they
too.
locked you up already before
Yes,
you?
they
Yeah.
Oh,
locked.
hell. Then you
Yes.
got to be a former criminal. That's the only time I heard that. Like, if you already a criminal, like my nephew, when he's on probation, like his girlfriend just made up some shit and said he tried to beat her up. So they just locked him up until they found out she was lying. But since he was on probation, he can't get in no trouble. You know, he can't even be her. He was in trouble. But I don't know, just a regular citizen. That's tough. I would never move to
Well,
Baltimore
I mean,
No,
not
City.
in like
I'm like
Baltimore
Greg.
City.
no,
I
Molly.
ain't-
You don't have to have prior criminal charges to be criminally
Yeah.
charged.
See,
Yeah,
yeah,
Molly.
nah, I ain't fucking with it. I ain't
Yeah,
going
Molly.
up.
Molly, I know this. Personally because my ex-wife, she was dealing with a pastor, and this bad boy was like nuts. Like he was like stalking, and this is this no. Even you know what I mean, even though they've been over for a while, and you know what I mean, she was telling me stories. I never seen the dude, whatever, because he moved to like Annapolis or something like that. No, but he would just pop up out of nowhere, and then he was sending like notes and all, but like I need this amount of money, or I'm going to post pictures, and you know what I mean, all kinds of
He
stuff. And
was
all. Well, anyway,
blackmailing her.
huh?
He was blackmailing her.
Right. So for a while, she kept it from me, or whatever. She kept it from me because she didn't know how I was going to react or whatever. But I was staying over there, and she hit me up, and she said, I got word. You know, she explained everything. Then she said, I got word that he's in town or whatever. And she said, please, she said, if he knocks on the door, do not open up the door. Do not. I said, I got you, whatever. I got no. Well, anyway, so he ended up knocking on the door, and I looked in the peephole, and I seen it was him and everything like that. And I'm in my mind, I was picturing me choking him, chokeslamming him, and throwing him down the steps or whatever, right? So she leaves work, and she comes by, picks me up. You know, he leaves and everything. You know, we get stopped by the police, and the cop said that he made a report that I opened up the door, grabbing him by the neck, choke slammed him, threw him down the steps. And I said, if I did all that, there would be all kinds of bruises and that, this, and all. And his words were, when somebody makes a report or whatever, no, they have to. It's up to the cop, you know, whether to arrest you or whatever, but they got to act on it. Even though they knew he was lying and everything, you know, it's up to you to prove that you're innocent or whatever, and all in court.
So you went to jail? They locked you up?
No.
Nah, that's what we talking about.
No, that's what I'm saying.
They locked her up, nigga.
He said, I know what I'm saying, but you were saying only if you if you're a criminal or that this and all, that they'll lock you up.
Yeah, you go to jail.
Right,
That's what I'm saying.
right.
You saying you didn't go to jail.
No, but that's what I'm
So
saying. He said
I
he
get
was
what you're
supposed
saying,
to.
though. They always come.
Yeah.
You can see somebody was shooting at you. They gonna report it. Somebody
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
to lock you up for the crime. That's what I'm talking about. I know they show up.
I know.
They
Yeah,
gonna
not
show
to
up.
cut anybody off.
He said he was
Wait, I want
supposed to do that, but he said he you know what I mean, he said I'm not even going to do that, whatever. No, he was just said just show up
I
to
get
court.
you saying he could have been petty and locked you up.
Right? Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Monique. What was you going to say?
Well, you don't have to have prior criminal charges. The reason they came and put a warrant out for me is because if it was just second degree assault, they maybe would have summoned me to court. They would have given me a court date. But because it said second degree assault to a minor, that's what did it. And with the second time of him doing it, because he's saying assault with a minor again, as well as a handgun, that turns to a misdemeanor. So they have to do something. You know what I'm saying? If it would have been like, oh, you know, I was just out there fighting another baby mother, or even a baby father or something like that, they wouldn't have cared. But because it had to do with being a minor, getting involved. Why would they not put a warrant out if the statement of charges is, well, she took a metal object and smashed it against the baby head and busted the baby head wide open? And then you show up to the commissioner's office and you frantically in there like, oh my God, my baby is in a hospital. Here, look at this picture, this random picture. Because my mother has contacted me and told me that even after I moved out of her house, police were still being sent there saying that there's a child in danger. And they would show a picture of a little boy with a black eye. Mind you, I have a daughter. So the state, anybody can do anything.
Yeah, but to go to jail for a fake statement is
Well, they
crazy.
don't know it's fake. They will
That's what I'm
hold you
saying. You
and
can show
legally
them that
detain you.
it's fake. Like, here go my child right here. You know, like my child's right here is healthy, baby. Talk to him. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, it
It's
doesn't
just,
work like that. If I'm
yeah,
sitting at
that's
home
crazy.
with my
Everybody
child,
be going to
yeah,
jail. Like, there's so many petty exes out here. They would be doing this shit like 24/7, or they might is doing this 24/7, and I'm just hearing about it. But that
you
I
are.
think they should change that, if that is the case, because you
Yeah.
wasting a lot of taxpayers' dollars, and it's real criminals out here, and women and men that's dealing with this issue for real.
Well,
And
honestly, I was in there with another girl. Her name was Ashley, and she was swore up and down that she was going to go home because she thought the charges were, they were fabricated, they were fake. So I was already in there with somebody else that was locked up basically for fabricated charges too. They were against. It was her and her uncle. They got in an argument. He went back. He went straight to the commissioner's office and pressed charges on her. And I think he was the one that actually assaulted her. So when she went into the commissioner's office to try to press charges, they locked her ass right up right then and there. And he had no proof, none of that. He just went straight there. So she was sitting there thinking like, listen to this, listen to the story. He's saying I grabbed his heart monitor. Trying to kill him and all this stuff. I know I'm going home. I ain't never been in trouble before. They sent her straight upstairs. I'll never forget, because in bail review, all of her family showed up. They hired a lawyer for her. They were 10 toes deep behind. And when I listened to the lawyer and what they were saying, she was an overly well citizen. Like she went above and beyond. She was the type to, do charity work and stuff like that. She never had any criminal record. She's never even been locked up before. All she did was work at Johns Hopkins and come home. Like she's never been in any kind of trouble. And they sent her straight upstairs. So it does happen.
Straight upstairs. What do you mean straight upstairs?
Straight to jail. Because you talk to the commissioner, you're holding in that little holding cell for almost 24 hours before you see a commissioner, and you either get out on your own recon or you go straight upstairs. And so even with her probably talking to the commissioner or the lawyer that talks to the commissioner or prosecutor and says, hey, I didn't do this to my uncle, he's lying on me. However they choose to tell your story back to the commissioner will determine. The commissioner determines whether you're going to go upstairs or not.
Yeah.
I sat there and told that prosecutor everything too. I'm like, that's my brother. I can prove this to you. I was like, I can prove it right now. I can get on the phone and call him. Like, y'all just give me a chance to call him. That lawyer didn't even go back and say that to the prosecutor. She was like, well, she don't got no FTAs. She don't have no warrants in the past. She don't get in trouble. She don't got no failures to appear in court, no criminal charges. So, what the hell was that supposed to do? They sent me right upstairs to jail. Off the allegation.
She ain't help you at all. She just saying,
Yeah.
she did it, but she due to this crime, she ain't got no prior crimes. That's what it seemed like. They working together. They trying to fill them beds up. That's why I don't like them appointed lawyers. They not there to help you.
Mhm.
They helping
Yeah.
each other. I'd rather represent myself. It's just like I just never seen that. It's not even a real person. It's like Casper can get me locked up, and then I'm in jail. They can prove, Casper can prove that I did these crimes to them. Ain't even no person, ain't no bruises, ain't no sin of no bruises or nothing, and I still gotta go to jail. Like, I sat in jail for a traffic ticket, but they had a warrant out because I didn't know I had a ticket, but I had to sit in there for almost 2 days to see the commissioner, and I was pissed off because they could have seen me a lot earlier, but I did have a warrant out. I didn't pay my ticket. They ain't just snatch me up. That's the scary part. That's what make a lot of sense when black people be like, I'm in jail. I'm innocent. I'm in jail. Now how they getting in there. They can just falsely accuse somebody. And there's some people that go far as say you did something to them and will inflict wounds on themselves that make it look like you actually did it. So
I've
That's
had,
scary, man.
yeah, I was with my ex one day, and you can get locked up even if you don't do a crime. You can just look like the person that did do the crime. You know, it's different with the judicial system, how everything's are wicked and what's going on. Sometimes it's just about numbers and it's about money. You know, I was standing with my ex one day at the bus stop, and police rolled up right and stopped him and was like, yeah, you know, they detained him for no reason. They were like, we just heard about a bank robbery and you fit the description. They actually end up running his name and find out that he did have a warrant for something, you know, something else. But yeah, that's how they found him. I had another friend that was on his way to work. His vehicle matched a different vehicle description. He wasn't even a guy. He didn't even fit the description. It was just his vehicle. And they locked him up anyway. He had to sit until the court date, and, you know, they let him go. He was like, he would have lost his place and his job if he didn't get out, if he got out any later. So
See,
it
Yeah.
happens.
I
and
mean,
that's
a
what
lot,
the
lot of
risk
people,
take.
lot of people think that, you know what I mean, people are you know what I mean, being locked up and all, you know what I mean, because, you know what I mean, there's a lot of people that's locked up that are innocent.
Yeah.
It's up to you to prove
That you're innocent
right in court.
Mhm.
Yep,
because you're guilty until proven innocent.
exactly.
So why do they always lie and say you're innocent until proven guilty? That don't make. I never figured out why do they always say that. It didn't make much sense because they was like, if you're innocent, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Well, this
No.
is what you worry about: the bureaucracy and the red tape and the backlog, because they can have you sitting somewhere for days, weeks, months. Who knew? Look, 18 months for somebody that was innocent. By then, you would have lost your car, your child. Because I mean, because you're a mom, and you're risking losing these things until they could get around to you, till they could
Right.
get around to finally giving you your day in court. And when you do get your day in court, they dismiss everything and say, okay, you can go back to life now. But your life has been shaken up. That's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
gotta be some way they can stop shaking up the people's lives before they say you can go back to, like, when they make mistakes or when it's gotta be a better way. And doing this little itty pilly stuff, you wasting the court's time, you
Right.
wasting the court's money, you wasting all of this to
Right.
just dismiss something at the end. That's just crazy.
See, but
But
see, but that's the thing. Some of the stuff is not being dismissed. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I worked at a you know what I mean, a bar / restaurant or whatever and all, where you had the prosecuting attorneys and the, you know what I mean, the other attorneys and everything all eating together. You know what I mean? Buddy and everything all. Like, to them, it's the pay. To them, it's a paycheck or a game competition or something like that and all. Versus you, that's your life. You know what I mean?
so if anybody out there that can give her some advice how she should go about this thing. And see, right now I understand why she's scared, because they haven't got in the paternity court. See, they waiting for the hearing date in the paternity court, so y'all can get the judge can decide who gets the custody, how much custody, and all of that. But if you're locked up and you're in jail, it'd be a home slam. But where is she? Oh, she in jail. What's she locked up for? Some trumped up charges, the value. They not looking into the case. And your attorney's gonna say she ain't got no FTAs, no this, no priors, no nothing. The attorneys don't do their job and represent the people.
But my only suggestion is, and I told this to a lot of people, do not
Think you want the link.
get
Not
you
today, Damien.
get you an out of town attorney.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Don't get somebody that, you know what I mean, that like I said, is buddy with, you know what I mean, the other attorney or whatever. No, you know what I mean?
In the area.
They're in the area. They sitting around in restaurants. I've seen this personally. They sitting around in restaurants joking around and this is this and all. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you're fighting for your life. And like I said, they think it's like a game or something, a game and a paycheck. That's what. That's how they look at it.
Game and a paycheck. I like that.
It's just
But it
not
is a
only her
game and
life,
a
she's fighting
paycheck to
for her little girl. You know, I could see if she was dolo solo and all she had to lose was her time or whatever. But with your child, you got a whole baby, and a
them.
special needs baby, and that needs special care, that's used to the mama's touch or the mama's handling and dealing. That's a lot, and it just.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
What did CPS say? Did CPS
So
do an investigation or anything like that?
they, from the latest thing that I've seen with the court case, is that I think they want an open CPS case, but I haven't heard from CPS. Who I have heard and had contact with is Family Preservations, which is like CPS but more lenient. I've
Okay.
had this lady open up a case because of the claims that he made, and she was like, I have to see you, or I have to see that your daughter's okay based on these claims, and you have to cooperate where they can escalate it to something more court-wise. And I didn't want that. I was like, I don't have nothing to hide, so that's fine. Only thing is I didn't want my address to get out where he could find and start vandalizing stuff again and all that. So she was like, I won't put your address out. I won't give it back to him. I just have to make sure that you're good and your daughter's good. And I said, okay, that's fine. Gave her the address. She comes to my house. She's like, oh, everything is fine. Your daughter's healthy. She's got a whole roof over her head, bed to sleep in. It's clean. And not only that, but she's in all the services that she needs. She's in ABA therapy, speech therapy, behavioral psychology, and all that from Kennedy and Krieger. She's doing exceptionally well. And with that, the crazy thing is, so she ended up closing my case because, everything is fine. So she closed my case. But when I asked for a letter for court, basically saying that when you opened my case, when you closed it, and what you observed while the case was open, what did you observe? She said, oh, there's the only way I could do that is if I would get subpoenaed to court. So you don't have a lot of options even with this. Like this guy, he can do whatever he can, and he can make these false claims, and they have to come and I have to oblige by it. But when I just need a simple letter to say what you saw in my household, is everything okay? You can't even do that without being subpoenaed to court. It's really not fair. There's no help. There's nothing to combat with that. I have to prove, like you said, I have to prove my innocence. I have to be legally detained until court and to prove my innocence. So what? This James Carter person can come up with more lies or whatever the case may be, some false pictures or whatever, falsified statements. They're not even going to show up. There's no James Carter. So the case would just get thrown out.
But that'll be enough time you may spend behind bars for them to do what they need to do to who your daughter's going to be with. That's what I'm basically trying to say. If you get what happens to the daughter?
What happened to me is because of that active warrant, it was easier for him to get granted emergency custody, right? So I would be in jail and he would have exactly. And then it would transfer from me getting out to me fighting for my daughter back, who had been with me the whole time. Then I'll be going to court for her. Then I would have to file for emergency custody for her and then wait on that court date while he would ultimately be, avoiding me and all this stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just not fair to her, even with the first time this happened, when she was 5 months old and I had to wait a week for that hearing and I got her back, it was ultimately different. She didn't smile when I first got her back. It was like she didn't recognize or know where she was. It took time for it to kick in for her to realize like, oh, I'm back with my mom. And the separation anxiety grew. When he did it the second time, pretending to be my brother, and I was locked up for almost a week, the aunt was telling me how she was starting to ask for me after maybe just 2 days, like, okay, where's my mom? Mommy. And I remember she sent me a picture when she had her care, and you could just see it in my daughter's face. You could just see that she was like, I do my best to try to avoid that feeling. I try to do what I can so she won't have to be without me, because nobody's going to love her or take care of her the way I do. So it's hard. I'm doing the best I can to protect my child, you know?
Right.
And I could, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little teary eyed too. See, I could see again. I want to reiterate that your child is a special needs child, and they don't verbalize, and she don't talk,
Mhm.
so she can't
Yeah,
tell you somebody's hurting her or somebody
exactly.
mistreating, like like a normal child can.
Right.
And that's the other sad part.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Man, when she can move and just start over, get somewhere, you ain't gotta worry about those type of crazy laws. Cause my sister,
Mm-hmm.
she got 6 kids, both of my
Mm-hmm.
sisters, and she done had CPS called on her from random people, and they come to the house and we got to call your son ain't eating. And my son, I mean her son got autism, my nephew Tonio, so he get a certain check, and he got to be treated different. He don't really talk, but he's smart. He a real smart kid. He about 11 now, but they used to do it all the time, and they still do it from time to time. And she get mad when she had to deal with it. And then she done got called so many times. She got cool with the people that come out, that every time they call her, they know it's bullshit. They end up getting her new TVs. Or what else you need? New bedroom set. So she like, call them now. Every time they call them, she knows she gonna get some. She see the same people, but it's just some petty people out here. People get mad at her about dumb stuff, and they just make claims. And due to the fact they know her name and where she live, they can always put out those type of claims. But it hurt my sister. I seen it plenty of times, because she like, who would do that, knowing that she do the best she can, she doing great. Like, so I understand where you're coming from. That's tough to have to deal with that repeatedly over and over. And definitely, who it's coming from. They're using false names or whatnot, but you know exactly who it's coming from. So hopefully he can grow up, or y'all can eventually talk and work something out, because it's all about the kid. That's his blood over there too. He should want the best for her. So hopefully, you can get somewhere. You ain't got to worry about these crazy laws like out Baltimore, and they can jump through all these loopholes and just do fuck shit. That's petty. So, Reese, we need to get her somewhere else, man. Get out of Maryland, get out here in the city somewhere when she's done with this.
yeah, something.
Yeah, something. You got some comments though. What Child said, and then, why would he want to live with you but not be in a relationship? He's a nut ass nigga. Well, ninja, because you fine. But I'm glad that he didn't work, because he probably would have tried to hurt you in that house. So he's saying he happy you got out of there. That's Chow Bout. What up, Cal? Have a good day. Said Don Dawson is trying to get a law passed for Maryland about the ID and false accusations. I guess that's
Yeah,
Kenny. He tied into them politics out there. So he said they trying to get a law so people can't do that no more in Maryland.
that'd be good, because that's messed up. Because this poor girl running with the baby just to keep, you know, like, see, all of this to go away when they do that custody thing. Like, he gonna get it this day, she gonna get it
Mhm.
this, or whatever. Then all that stuff's gonna go away. See, he's trying to
Yeah.
do a snatch. He's trying to do a snatch and
Somebody's
grab.
sliding in.
Oh,
Somebody's
okay.
coming in.
Hey,
And we're gonna do the silent.
welcome. It's
Yeah,
the
no problem.
morning,
Yeah, this
man.
is not that type of day. I get it. You smart. What's up, Rodney? Not the
Peace.
beast, but Rodney.
What's
What's up,
good,
man?
y'all?
Ain't nothing,
Hello.
bro. We just having a little conversation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I came in the middle of it. I was working. I didn't get to hear it, so I apologize. But I heard a little bit since I've been here, and I'm like, oh, okay, y'all dealing with something serious
It's
over
all
there.
right. We got time.
Yeah.
We got time.
Yeah, I'm just listening. I'm good. I was just calling to make sure Reese got the walker and she was good. That's all.
Yeah, I'm go out. I can hit the mall up now in the grocery store. See, when you go to the grocery store, they don't always have them scooters. So I gotta walk the thing. And sometimes the cart, if you lean on the cart will move forward and it don't catch you, right? So now I can, I can go out the house today.
Get out.
Yeah, only because I've been a little dizzy. I've been dizzy, but today not about me. I was gonna send you a thank you too.
That's all good. I'm interested. I want to hear more about what's going on.
And,
I do hate the fact that people can do that anonymously. I did hear some of it to know that I do believe that is an issue, and I believe if you making allegations like that, you should not be able to do it anonymously, because if you're doing it for the right reasons, then I wouldn't want to be anonymous. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, it don't make sense. To me, just making it anonymous makes it so that people can do it for the wrong reasons and get no repercussions. But the people that are doing it for the right reason, if that child really was going through something, this, that, and the other, they shouldn't want to be anonymous anyway. So that's just my opinion.
Well, it's so funny because he never did an allegation that she was hurting her daughter. He's doing an allegation that she abused somebody else's child, beat a man up, beat a man and his girlfriend up, and blacked the child's eye. You a bad woman, ain't you, Mo? You beating everybody up and blacking the kids and stuff. That's crazy. That crazy stuff. And then brandishing a firearm, and then that's when they're like, "Oh, she did that. She did that." Put a warrant out for her arrest. So, we all know that Baltimore City, they do stuff down there a little different than we do, up here anyway. But by him able to do it over and over again, are they going to get tired of the complaints or get tired of seeing you in the system and say, send her upstairs? That's seen her 3 times. Send her up. I mean, what would have happened first, you think?
Well, I would like to think that would happen. Like, okay, maybe if they see this enough, or they could start putting ties together. But like I said, I think that they're too backed up. I think that's why you have to have some type of investigator or private attorney to look into it, because there are people out here that are evil. There are people out here that's pretty messed up and unhinged, and they do things back to back to back. So why would they look at my case and say, oh, this doesn't seem like her? These people that filing this stuff, not the person that pressed the charges, but the ones that prosecute, they don't know me personally. They don't know me to be like, oh, she's not capable of doing that. Or, that's why you have to have some kind of attorney, public defender, or anything like that. And like I said, it's just a lot of loopholes you have to go through. I have to go through. I can't even get a public defender unless I have an actual court date, So a lot of times you have to turn yourself in to even get a public defender, because you have to have that court date. That's the only way you can get a fucking public defender, is to have that court date. So then you sitting and waiting for what? You're sitting in the cell for however long they say it's legally detaining you, I guess, to come up with the evidence, the proof, and they can't even come up with none. And you sit there, you go to the court date, and you sit there like, all right, where's this person at? And they don't even show up. So they just have to dismiss the case. Then you have to go out your way to get that expunged off your record, or you will never be able to get a good job or anything like that. So it's just a lot. But I don't think they would ever look into it and go, it's highly unlikely, but it is possible. Like, okay, with them doing it in the county, they started to catch on. Because I submitted in evidence with the family preservation. I told her what was going on. I showed her the screenshots, the documentation. She was like, I can leave notes for the next person, or so that when he tries to come back to family preservation, it won't happen again. He can't go back to the county and try it. Even if he tries to go to maybe the main commissioner office, which is the one that's like in downtown Baltimore, they starting to put 2 and 2 together, and they like, he's coming in here a little crazy. And I think they asked him about a CPS report, and that's why he left the first time. So he keeps going to the same place where he filed as my brother, because obviously they didn't ask no questions. They just were like, oh my gosh, and they put out the warrant and locked me up. Well, this James Carter went to the same place, Hargrove in Baltimore City. That's another district court. He keeps going to that commissioner. He's going to go where they're yielding results that he wants. He's not going to go back to Baltimore County. He's not going to go to the one downtown, because they starting to ask for stuff like, okay, well, do you have the report? Do you have a CPS report? Do you have You know, they're going to ask for ID in the county, so he won't go there no more. He keeps going to the one on Hargrove.
Yeah,
Where they have
he
doing their
no,
job.
I ain't doing that shit.
Mhm.
He getting away with
Yeah.
murder. Then he got a fake name. I think he got a fake ID. I don't think he going there with no ID and giving them a
Yeah.
name saying this is me, and they just like, we're gonna take whatever
You
name you
can,
give us.
because you can walk into the
No, like
courthouse
he probably,
downtown. You can
yeah,
walk right up
that's
in
what
there
I'm
without
saying.
any ID.
Yeah, and then how they ever prove that that person is actually them? They just don't care to actually look up and
They
see
don't.
if you that person. No
You
social,
don't.
no fill out no
It's
paperwork. That's gang.
yeah, as
That's
insane as
gang.
it sounds. That's literally how it is. You can walk in there
Yeah,
and
that's
you just
gang.
you can say you can say you're James Carter and
Yeah,
that I came and I beat you
They
up
need to lock
and
his
pissed
ass
with
up for
you.
false charges, and she
yeah,
can sue
yeah.
him for defamation of
No,
character
well,
and false imprisonment.
she's
That's
trying
Chapstick.
to do that. She's
Yeah,
trying to get somebody
Chapstick.
to
Yeah.
take the case and everything.
Mhm.
She's even contacted. They even contacted the mayor. The
Yeah.
mayor that I talked about last week, driving around in $163,000
Chapstick.
souped up SUV, and we have the mayor said that he don't have nothing to do with the jurisdiction, but at least the mayor could have at least went to the commissioner and be like, hey,
Ah,
we can
hell
we
nah. You
or
know damn
anything.
well the mayor not gonna stop for no one individual case and take his time to deal with it. Like, let me take this case to the commissioner and the commissioner to. They not gonna do that, especially
Or
on
she's trying to open
no
up a
random.
pattern.
If
She
she knew
asked them,
somebody, they probably would do it. If she knew somebody that they was tight with, they'd do it. But I think they be just ignoring people,
well, they
emails, and
asked
just
the
send them
mayor's
a
office
forward
how
message.
this was possible, Molly. They,
Yeah,
they,
the
they're,
mayor's
they're
office, not the mayor. You
right. Well,
know.
they want the mayor to look into that office. How
Yeah,
is that's possible
Mhm.
to do that? What you're doing? And how is that possible in that office? How is they coming in with no ID and
yeah.
pressing
We need to
charges and
know.
locking
Yeah.
people
You
up?
don't I'm sorry to cut you off, Reese. I've talked with, with everything that's going on, I try to call a lot of different law firms that could represent me for, a small fee or to no fee because I cannot afford a private attorney. And like I said, they don't take criminal cases, and that's what they told me. But one of the women there referred my case over to this guy. I don't know if I can use his name. I don't see why not, but his name is Dylan Siegelbaum, and he's a news reporter for online Baltimore News that's working with me about my case. He reached out to me because he's concerned about the judicial system in Baltimore City as well, where people are getting falsely accused because you don't have to show ID. So it's like you don't, as hard as it is to believe me, you don't, I'm not looking for people to believe me or anything like that because I know my truth at the end of the day, and as well as everything that I have standing behind me, it's just a slow process. But even he's interviewing people that have been falsely accused or had to spend time in jail for something that they didn't do because the lack of evidence or the lack of having to show ID at the commissioner's office. So it's being looked into. It's just a slow process.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and not believing you and thinking he got a fake ID is not the same. I'm just thinking he doing it in a different way. You assuming he going there with no ID, which you don't know because you don't see when he go in there. I'm assuming he going in there with an ID with that name on it, probably. I don't know neither, but obviously
Well,
it's
he
not a
couldn't have
real
went
person.
in. He maybe he does have an
He's
ID of
still
James
cruddy.
Carter, but
Yeah,
how
he's
could he have
still
done it
going cruddy
as my
shit.
brother?
Exactly. I don't know. That's the thing. That's what's weird. With or without ID, this shouldn't be possible. Nobody should be able to go in there and claim they me and make a claim on Reese that she did something to me. That's messed up. That's what I'm saying. It is messed up. I don't believe you that you saying it ain't possible. What I'm saying is it's fucked up. And how is he doing this? That's what I want to know. I want to know how this possible. Like it just doesn't make sense. Any government official building like that, you should need an ID to come in there. Chout left a comment. He said, "Fuck it, punch yourself in the face and go say he did it." If it's working like that, don't punch yourself. But
Um,
Just
women
it's,
do
say
that.
he did it. You ain't got to punch yourself. Go to the
Yeah,
commissioner's
obviously
office
you ain't gotta have
like
bruises
she
out there.
did, like
Just
he
say he
did.
did it. But she said she ain't got that in her heart. That's what he
She
do.
ain't trying to do dirty pool because that stuff will come back on you.
Yeah, it
Now,
would.
now after Siegelbaum get finished, the people seeing, and then now that we know that Baltimore City, and even Kenny know about Baltimore, a city that certain commissioner's office, maybe now they're requiring they might require, if enough petitions get out there, enough people get behind it, maybe change
Shit,
up
if you
some
know
language.
something about it, Kenny, drop it in the comments so we can read it. If you know something about
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
then
let us
drop it in
know,
the comments.
Yeah,
I'm
you
in
know.
DC.
And
I
if you
come
know
out
where she can get
Baltimore.
some help from Kenny, drop that in the comment too, because that's what she's ultimately like. How do I clear my name? How do I get good back? How can I get my job back? How can I get my life back?
Yeah.
How can I, it's like wherever she is now, the baby's with her. Remember, she said she had the babies in her speech therapy programs and all of this programs.
Yeah.
The baby need to get back into the classes and back into therapy and all the stuff. Because like I said, she has this special needs child, not to hop on that or anything, but just to show that it's not a normal, she's not a regular degular, it's not a regular degular case or a situation. There's other special extenuating circumstances surrounding this whole thing. And it's not just affecting Monique, it's also affecting the other people, especially the baby.
Monique, you got one brother?
Yeah, on my mother's side.
Okay, see, yeah, it's 8 of us, 6 boys. My sisters, and we'd have been put up on Buddy. You know,
Yeah,
you
I
wouldn't
know,
have to
but
worry
you
about no
charges.
motherfucking. I don't care.
There's
We
the
just took one
charges.
for the team. You just didn't know he wouldn't have to worry about that shit. We need to start getting family more involved with our women. You
That's
know,
true.
I just feel like if it's more men around our women, dudes will know they can't even do that. They wouldn't even think about doing no shit like that. You know, but when they see that they ain't got men around, they feel like they can get away with shit like he doing. Like, man, hell no. It's just weird, man. I wish you had more men around you that punch him in his face. Chow, where you at, Chow?
Sean
Are
already is
you
support in the
scared
comment.
of him? Are you scared of him? I mean, do he frighten you a little bit?
I'm, you know, I am now. I think he's very much unhinged. I think that if you're willing to go into court and say that you're my brother
What
without
else?
thinking about the repercussions that could come behind that, the paper trail that comes behind that, that's why I don't go and do what he does, because I'm afraid. I'm afraid that it will fall back on me and then we both look incompetent and then we both lose rights of our child. That's why I don't do what he's doing, because I think the truth is going to come out no matter what. I strongly believe in that. I pray for that, I can at some point get some type of legal representation or some type of person that can investigate this and then be able to get the justice that I deserve, that me and my daughter deserve. But yeah, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that even if I am able to win the custody and dismiss this and expunge the stuff off my record, I feel like at that point he will have nothing to lose. And who's to say that he won't harm me and my child now? Because if you're willing to go as far as you are now, it can't be for anything good. I don't, he's not doing all this just to say, I'm father of the year and I have my daughter, she's safe with me. No. Mm-mm. Something's not right. This is the type of stuff that you see on like First 48
Lifetime.
or, Lifetime movie. This is like a Medea movie. Sometimes it feels unreal to me. Yeah.
And
So,
he has made bodily threats against you and either other family members.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
anytime Buddy is throwing bricks through other people's window and stuff and writing your name on bricks and throwing it through other people's window, that's a little
That's sucker shit. He hitting walls and shit.
on fire. And you, what you say?
Right.
You hit Waller Place. What you
He
say,
probably
Molly?
hitting walls. You know, them the niggas that be
Oh,
putting holes in the walls everywhere out the apartment because they mad. He want to hit her, but he can't. So start hitting other shit,
Yeah.
and threatening. He even threatened her mom, saying that,
Yeah.
oh, you hiding. I'm gonna hurt your mom.
Oh,
Now
yeah, one
you
nothing you
should
can
be able
do.
to take that and go to the police right now.
You take that,
Mhm.
go to your brother right now. That's all you need to hear.
You to get
But
his
it's
ass
good. You
talked up.
doing it right because you got to stay out of jail for your daughter. So you doing everything right. You handling how you supposed to handle it because you don't want to go off hinges. Then you in there for 3 years and come out, he end up with her anyway. So Nah, you
And
doing it right. Keep your cool as much as you can. Don't lose it. They want to see an angry black woman. Don't give it to them.
Right.
Rodney,
And there's
David,
some
right?
there's some lawyers and everything that take cases like this pro bono. So
She's looking. We looking. If you know any
Pro
lawyers,
bono don't take my case because they don't take criminal cases. A lot of these free places that offer legal help, like legal aid, pro bonos, women's law center, they won't take a criminal case. Even if they could take my case, it's too, like, even if I say, okay, I want to open up a civil case, they don't want to take my case. They're like, it's too much, it's too intricate, it's too complex for us, you need a private attorney. You know, I've done called many places and they were like, you should just turn yourself in. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Why would I do that? You know, it was only one person I called, and that was the state's attorney that was like, file a motion to recall the warrant. So when you don't know your rights, you don't know nothing. I didn't even know there was a motion to recall a warrant. I didn't know that was an option. You know, you can go on this thing called MDEC and file to courts and respond virtually. Like, there's a lot you don't look into it that you don't know, you know, and you have to pay for this type of advice. You have to seek out legal help. It's just ridiculous what you have to do to be able to clear your name or have that innocence, but the person that's pressing charges don't have to do anything.
and,
So
Yeah.
and you know, this is an old timey practice, like back in the day, because they knew poor people didn't have the money, the legal resources, that they just have to go with the flow and have to get locked up. That's how they got free labor. That's how they lock you up for 18 months. But at that time, they have you working, they have you doing some of
It's
every
a
stuff.
year and a half. It's a long,
Yeah,
long,
18 months
long
to say,
time.
okay, it's that's crazy work. So, and we don't know how long that she would have to sit until her thing come up.
For
For her thing,
false crimes, I will hope not 18 months. We're going in and break her out. You know.
and not only lack of money, but lack of education. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and they know this.
Yeah, like somebody stated, you know what I mean? Didn't know about, you know what I mean, recalling warrants and different things like that. No, and you know what I mean, especially if you're young, you know what I mean, if you're young and you don't know the law or whatever, you know, yeah, they can take full advantage of you.
And it's so sad because
Look, you got somebody in Baltimore. Look at Prince said, "Yo, I'm in Baltimore City. This chow, bro, what's good? Hey,
okay.
you gonna have some brothers out there."
I need some.
But AI is really a good tool. They trying to ban it from the courts. I think they actually did because people start bringing AI to represent them, and they was winning. Motherfuckers was like, shit, I can't afford a lawyer, so they brought AI with them, and AI was killing it. They was like, nah, you can't. Yeah, AI is all the lawyers and our man combined. He know everything, you know. Just let him. So you gotta ask. Don't ask, see what you get. Probably gotta educate yourself sometimes to get out of some situation. Cause they ain't gonna try to teach you.
And she's learning that, and she's
Yeah, I'm
learning that.
learning.
And I'm so proud of her for doing it, because she could go the white and route and go, you know, all of that. No, we gonna get somebody. But she's thinking about not her. She's thinking about her baby, and I'm like, good. That's cool thinking, because she's
Because
thinking of
me
the
before the
impact.
baby, oh yeah, me before the baby would have got this done and over with, but
I know, but now she's thinking about her baby girl, you know, and again, like she said, nobody knows her daughter like she know her daughter. Nobody love her daughter like she love her daughter. And right now, at the stage of her life, her daughter needs that mommy, that love, that, you know, to know that she's safe too, because she can't say, "Ow, that hurt me," or "he hurt me," or "help me," or "I want to stay with my mommy." If a judge asks, you know, if the judge asked her a question, she wouldn't be able to answer it. She
yeah,
probably
my
would
daughter
ignore
be
the
saying yes
judge.
to questions just because she knows that word. You know, I just think about what motivates me. I think about how he would probably treat her. I would think about how she could just be sitting there crying silently to herself and, not be able to express what's wrong. That just breaks my heart. Like, that's what keeps me to do the right thing. That's what keeps me pushing, is just my child, thinking that he would mistreat her, or she can't even say it, like, I miss my mommy or mommy. And, he might be in the background telling her, hush, or be quiet, or don't say that. Like, I just can't imagine that. I can't.
Because he don't know how to
Couldn't do
deal
it.
with that, because you have to take classes to train. That's why they teach parents that has special needs children how to handle the needs. If you ain't been around, buddy, you've been gone, you've been ghost. You're not taking these classes, these training. You don't know. And like you said, the child could be expressing one need, and he may be thinking it's something else and get mad. And you don't want, if he loses cool with other people, throwing bricks, setting, imagine, like he said, that baby ain't no punching bag. And we know a lot of times when people can't get what they ever need out, they resort to the violence. That's how come so many kids get the shaken baby syndrome and other stuff. Not saying that he would do that, hopefully, prayerfully not. But if you don't have any type of anger management or any counseling or how to deal with no rejection or no, look, last year we talked about last summer the story where one of my family members lost another family member because the girl told the boy, I don't want to be with you no more. We got a 7-month-old son here, but I don't want to be with you no more. And the boy opened up a gun and shot her point blank while she was holding the baby because he didn't know how to deal with no, leave me alone, kick rocks. I don't want to be with you no more.
Yeah, man.
And then
It's
he turned the
hard.
gun and took his life. So now the grandmother is, yeah.
Thin line, man. People will lose it. I had a friend who baby mother shot him in his head, killed him. Told him, you play with me again, you cheat on me again, I'm gonna kill you. He thought it was a game, got caught, shot him. Like, it's just like people heart screens is short. That's why I like that movie, The Thin Line Between Love and Hate. So yeah, she might wanted to end it, but he probably didn't. You don't know what he invested. She might want it, or he might wanted to end it, but don't know what she invested. And a lot of people feel like they can't live without that person. So before they allow that person to live, they just end them and end themselves. Sometimes I'd be like, man, you gotta be careful. So you don't really know, what you want to do with a person. Don't start telling you love them and want to be with them forever, this yours, and then wake up one morning and be like, you know what? It's not gonna work. You might gotta ease that some other way. You gotta know who you talking to. Because a lot of people talk to people, they know they crazy. They just not crazy towards them. I like him. He crazy. He be da da da. Yeah,
I've
until
heard
that
people say
crazy
that
turn on
too.
to you, and then
I
you like,
heard,
hold up. So
yeah,
it is, man. People
I
gotta be
heard girls
careful
say
out
that
there.
too, Molly. He crazy. He
Yeah.
crazy. And this it's
Crazy
not cute.
about me. He'd kill over me. Yeah, he'd kill you too if you choose to leave him. So you got to be careful with that. You want a dude to love you that much, but not to the point that he'll harm somebody else because they talking to you, because they try to holler at you. Because the minute that you do choose to leave him and try to holler with somebody else, that person's lose it. Same thing with women. They don't want to see another girl around. Like, as soon another woman add, oh nah, now there's problems. Now you can't do this. Now you can't see your child. So it happened both ways. Just we got to be adults to understand that we ain't gonna work out. It's all about the child. And there's always that one partner, don't matter the man or the female, that just don't get it. And you got to be careful because some of these people, they crazy, man. They're in it. They're in it all.
Yeah. Some people, when they say for life, I'm in your life for life. I ain't never going nowhere. And they say that kind of stuff. David Green,
Damn.
what you got to say?
I fully agree.
Wow.
Yeah, we got some comments, man. They going off.
Okay. What's the
Child.
comment? I don't think
Yeah.
Monique can see it, so y'all got to read it too.
It's so much. Yeah. He
Y'all
talking
said
about
I'm
wish I
outside
All them
every
joints
day.
blowing. I'm not reading all them joints.
Yeah, he said I wish I was your brother for a day. He'll leave you alone after I pull up on him. Time I got a young bull out, be more too. Child everywhere without being there. Uh, Misha said, "What up, Misha? Me?" She said, "But walls
Walls
don't
don't
hit
hit
back."
back.
I think that's talking about the wall. Said, "Yo, I'm in Baltimore." Oh yeah, that was Prince. Said, "I'm outside everywhere, man. Prince was good, broski." JB said, "So much I want to do and say, but I don't want to put on that orange jumpsuit. He can be stopped though." And then Chow said, "My homie wife just shot him 5 times.
Oh,
Thank God he made it. But you can't take people's feelings for granted because you never know how far they willing to go to prove a point."
oh
Yeah,
gosh. Thank
yeah,
goodness he made
True.
it too. Oh my
Mm,
goodness.
5
yeah.
times.
That's
5 times.
he got the blessing of the most
I
high on
think
him.
shit,
Thank
Mhm,
God.
everybody that gets shot
mhm.
round shot when he survived. 50 got shot, what, 15 times? He lived. Him 5. If I
Shot
get
got
shot, I want to be in New York. If I ever get
Shout
shot, I
got
want to
shot
be in
9
New York.
times. He living too. So
Yeah,
that
it's something about New York niggas. They do not die, boy.
chout is good luck. It's just having a chout. If you got a
Them
chout
boys
quality of
strong.
life, then you
They
know
strong.
that's the good luck piece, baby.
They
Keep our
built
head
different.
up.
Yeah.
Keep our head up. Mm, mm, mm. Um, any other comments before? Cause
Nah, that was it. I wish Weezy could have made it on here. I know she probably had some good questions and advice for you, but I
yeah,
think
she said
Weezy
she
we
had
was
some
busy.
business to take care of. So she unfortunately she said she won't be able to make it, and she said she
Yeah,
said, but for us to have a great show.
no, that's cool. We'll catch you tomorrow. But I definitely appreciate you coming on, sharing your story with us. Is there any way that anybody on this panel can help? So far, all we can do is push your story. We can share this. If you're watching, please like and share. We need to share with as many people as possible. Because you never know who might watch this and can be able to help, or who already been in your situation. That's
Right.
what's good, to find out women who already been in your situation and then already got through it, because I think they can help you the most, because they probably had to
Right.
learn on the
Mhm,
fly, just how you learning on the fly, and these
mhm.
things that you can educate younger women that probably go through it in the next few years after you. This might be a calling for you, because you saying
Right.
it's an issue and you saying it's an issue. So now once you get through it, you can help women with these same issues.
And
So
men,
yeah,
because men
and
get
man,
lied on too. They
yeah,
get
yeah,
lied on and caught up in the system as well.
they
We
find a
need to
deuce
change
in.
that law where you don't have to show ID to make a complaint against a person, and then they need to look a little deeper into the complaint, to see why. Because, like I said, under all of this complaints that he's complaining, he never called, he never went to the police. He never did child protective service on her. He didn't do the stuff that requires to give up your ID or give up information. He went where he know that he could just say a story and they go nab her or grab her, and then she had to be caught up in some red tape while he's making his stuff away. What he trying to get? And that's custody of the child. While you sitting in behind all this bureaucracy, all this red tape. Yeah, we gotta change laws. They marching for 8 million people marching that said no king, but march to get some of these old laws and stuff off the books. These old antiquated laws and the way they do things. March to make the law the law. That do march to do something that we actually can change or have uh something over. Like they notified the mayor. And we got the feedback from the mayor's office. The mayor said, sorry, call
Mhm.
Molly, do we I can't see if I can see it, but the mayor is like, sorry, I don't get into the court stuff or whatever, call the
Mhm.
governor. Call the governor of Maryland. If the mayor say that they think they too
They got
busy,
no jurisdictions over the court system, as is overseen by the state of Maryland. However, you may want to forward your email to the governor. Who that? More? Yeah, more. And then
Governor
he sent the
Westmore.
link. Yeah, he sent the link that you can actually reach out to them. Then it seemed like they sent a name, an address, and yep, 2 locations that she can go and get some legal aid as well. But she probably already done reached out to these
She reached
people,
out to me.
you
We
know.
reached
So
out to
they
her.
always got some email they send back. They probably forward back to everybody, you know, because it'll never say person name, but say like good afternoon or to whom this may concern. Like, nah, somebody just forward it back. But if
You
it
know,
wasn't any of this information able to help you at all, a little bit.
they don't take criminal cases. The places like that.
Ah,
Now, why don't they take criminal cases? They, is legal aid? Is it because it's too much, or why don't they? Why don't they?
I'm not
yeah.
exactly sure. I think because it's the free kind of program, I don't know if it's because these criminal, maybe they don't want to possibly represent somebody that could be guilty or something like that. I guess it gets too complicated when it's criminal charges and they have to defend somebody on a criminal standpoint. They just kind of focus on like civil claims or custody matter issues or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know if it just requires too much time, if too much investigating, or if they just don't want to have to represent a criminal. I don't know what it is, but I
Criminal is
know
a
they don't
different
take
type of
criminal
law.
cases. Huh?
Ah,
Criminal is a different type of law.
Yeah.
So it's not that they don't want to, is that they just don't, that might not be their expertise. It's all kinds of different types of law, and criminal is something totally different. You wouldn't want to represent somebody and that is not, when you're dealing with people's lives as far as criminal, you know, you want a criminal defense attorney. You don't want a person that is really does
like life
assets or something
insurance.
like that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Or you know, things like that. You want a criminal defense attorney, so somebody who doesn't do criminal, they're going to stay away from it, because you know you really have that person's life in your hands in some aspects. So,
I get it. Like
Monique,
a
that's
foot
that's
doctor,
Rocky Glover
a
right
heart
there, Monique.
doctor. They
how
got
you
different
doing,
Mhm.
Monique?
doctors.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry to hear what you're going through. Definitely will have you in my prayers.
But thanks
Thank
for
you. I
helping
appreciate
with the
you.
number. You
Yeah,
gave
oh,
her
Jonathan Newton's
her.
good. He's a criminal defense attorney, but you got to pay him. I know that for sure.
Hmm.
I
You
want that
know,
money. We got another
but he's
thing you
really
sent
good though.
over, Reese. You sent like an email or something.
This was asking for the help that they sent to the mayor
Yeah, I
of
scratched out the
Baltimore.
names.
Yeah, and read what that said. They were just basically saying, how can this?
It's so small. Probably have to make it bigger. Pause.
You know, she's just asking, how can
And
this?
she's writing a letter on behalf of her daughter. That's Mo. So this your mother who sent this email out.
It
Yes.
says October 20. I'm able to zoom in on my phone. It says
Okay.
October 22nd, 2025, Baltimore, Maryland. Not that the zip code matters, that's whatever. But my name is, of course, it'll be blanked out for privacy. I'm writing this letter on behalf of my daughter, Monique. Of course, the last name is going to be covered up too, you know. She has been wrongfully accused and is being charged for a crime that she did not commit. These charges have been are being filed at the commissioner's office. My concerning question is, how is a person able to file a charge against another person without showing proper identification? We believe the father of Monique's child is filing criminal complaints in an attempt to gain custody of the child. Um, on this latest occasion, he most likely filed using the name James Carter. He accused Monique of trespassing, assault, and having a handgun. The date file was on June 15th, 2025, per the Maryland Judiciary case search. Why not file a police report, though? Where's the proof? Is there a camera at the courthouse commissioner's office? I can't see the rest.
Yeah, that
But
was cut right there.
yeah,
But
that's what I
basically,
can see.
And
she's
mom had the
asking.
same questions. Yeah, I want to know too. I'd have been sending them same message. Like, how is this dude even doing this? I like that moms basically reached out. Need to get more people reached out. Share the email. We can all put the email up and reach out and harass these people if we have to. But did they reach back to moms, give her some type of answer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. The Governor
Oh,
Wesley.
that's what the response.
That
Oh
was
my
response.
goodness, that's the worst
Cause
response you can give a person after this. They ain't really answer nothing.
He didn't. And she's not asking so much the court. She asking, how did this happen? Not for you to get involved, Mayor, but I'm asking, how is this under your commissioners? He didn't even address the commissioner. He didn't even address any of that. Just say go to the governor, Westmore. How the mayor sending you to the governor? And she wrote, and they followed through again to the governor, to Westmore. So, we got to get some stuff got to happen. So, to change this for our sons and daughters, our future sons and daughters. Is it because of the areas that is happening, or the city, the Baltimore City is there's a lot of us in the prison stuff is that why they don't care, or they don't take a second look? Oh, okay. Oh, they didn't do this one. Oh, but they'll do the next one. Come on. These people lives you playing with. These are people lives, and they don't care until it hit home for them. And the mayor of Baltimore is the joke. That's the one that's running around $163,000 vehicle. Get him a taxpayer money. Get this girl some money so she could pay for an attorney, Mayor. Get this. They don't need to reinforce you with plexiglass like somebody shooting at the mayor. I don't know. Somebody might be aiming for him, but that's why he got his vehicle reinforced. I don't know how bad it is in Baltimore. Y'all shooting at y'all man down there in Baltimore? Oh no!
I don't know.
Should they robbing churches? What are you talking about?
Yeah, for real? In Baltimore? I thought the church was robbing the people. Oh, I didn't say that.
You said it.
Well, I guess they want their money back.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. So if anybody can give her some help, if anybody knows some attorneys that will help, is there an attorney that's out there that will step up and help this poor young lady? Come on, somebody know. If you know somebody, drop a clue, or if you want to make donations or to help cover her attorney expenses, you could do that. Contact us at the Morning Mac Show. I'm not going to give you guys her information to contact her for her own safety and her protection, Monique's own safety and protection. But get in contact with us, and we'll definitely make sure that we get you in contact with Mo, or vice versa, whatever you need. Is that okay, Mo?
Yeah.
Because like I said, help. It takes a village. It takes a village, and we're looking and we're doing everything on our part. It takes a village. So
there's a great lawyer up there. I forgot his last name, but his name Tony. I got his number and everything. I can give you a receipt to give to him.
Okay.
Like that.
You can give it to her yourself, because you'll be, we on the show. He right there. You talk to anybody.
Gabba laugh.
That gabba.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is off the early.
Well, you're talking about the prisons and all in Baltimore. In June, Justice was supposed to be shutting down, ain't it?
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Wow.
Anything you want to leave the people with, Mo? Or you get up out of here?
Be very careful with who you trust. Be careful who you have kids with. Sometimes even that's not enough. You don't know how things might backfire on you. But if there's one thing you can take out of it, it's definitely be careful who you have kids with and who you lay down with, because how it can affect you and your child's life is ultimately It's going to change everything. Also, anybody that's going through anything, if you want to reach out, I just want people to understand, and I wanted to shed light on my situation and my story for anybody that's going through the same thing. Like, you're not alone. Maybe if this reaches the right hands, you know, we can get some things with the judicial system changed. Maybe I can find some type of representation. But, you know, this is my story, and there's many more stories like mine. So I hope it gets the awareness it needs to.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, Monique.
Thank y'all for having me on the show. And thanks for everyone that tuned in and commented.
Yeah, ciao.
That's the Morning Mac Show.
You should put that information out on Facebook so people can share it. Put the word out.
Yeah. I got to take my page off of private and maybe you know, it's I don't got a lot of followers and stuff, so I don't have a lot of attention or traction on my page, whereas though it can get pushed out. You know, my friends don't do nothing. They don't really got lives like that, like, you know, so it's having a hard time trying to get the attention I need, whereas though my child's father is an aspiring rapper in Baltimore, so he gets like a lot of attention. You know, people will share his posts and stuff like that versus me. But yeah, I'm working on it. You know, I got a few things lined up. It's just, like I said, it's just a slow process. But I'm always working on it.
Rapper acting like this.
Yeah.
That's sad. Damn, that's sad. Well, we won't say his name here, but we'll talk about it in the back in the green room.
Okay.
We won't say it on the show, and because it's my understanding that you're not hiding from him, but yeah, you kind of hiding from him because you don't know what he's capable of or what he's doing, and yeah. So.
Does he have like connections or whatever, like in like the police force or something, like relatives?
So there's a rumor that I did hear, and I heard from the grapevine that he's an informant, so that might be why he just gets a slap on the wrist of things.
Yep.
So
that makes sense.
Yep.
Wow. An informant got pulled like that? Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
You're a rat. Wow. Okay, we got some falling into fall. Y'all know I can't see that, but this this Saturday at 2 Mac Barbershop, Phil Page and Streetline Ricky Dillon. I'm going by what I know, so I'm not going by what it say up there. So if I say it wrong, I say it wrong. I know it's gonna be Miss Chocolate, Ronnie Harris, Xavier Morgan, myself, Cynthia Young, and some other people. Can somebody read that? On October the 25th, that can see it. If not, don't worry about it. We'll see it tomorrow. We'll go tomorrow. So we'll talk about it tomorrow. 25th, y'all get on the show. This has been Tall Tale Thursdays. Peace. We out of here. Let your energy flow. High takes rising like the morning brew. Fresh ideas and a laugh or two. From the first headline to your daily dose. This is the show where your spirit goes. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Sip it slow, feel the rhythm hit your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Dreams alive. The Mac